Hey guys, Jason here from Usable Smoke Productions. Just wanted to share with you pretty cool discovery that I made. Um, these days I'm using mostly Logic Pro on macOS, but I got my start on uh, on my iPad using GarageBand for you know iOS. And have several songs, older tunes, projects that I've started that I've worked on. They've just kind of been sitting there, um, and it would be really cool to open those up on Mac OS, GarageBand, or even Logic, and continue working on those, remixing them, mastering them, and so forth. Um, but for some reason, whenever I would try to transfer the file, it would be a pretty tedious process. Sometimes, even though I would maybe follow all the steps that I'm supposed to follow, for some reason, one reason or another, the waveforms would not come through. They'd be lost, or they would sound weird, or something strange would happen. So, I have discovered a pretty cool way and a very easy way, I feel, to transfer these files over to your Mac, and hopefully, what's working for me will work for you, or at least make it a little bit easier. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my iPad and I'm going to plug it in using a USB cable. I'm going to plug it into my Mac. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if you take a look on my Finder window here where it says Jason's Mac Mini, when I plug my iPad in, which is right about now, eventually you're going to see it pull up here. There we go, Getty's iPad Mini 4. All right, so you know now that it's connected. All right, and what I can do is I can click on this, and it's going to bring up similar to when you plug your phone in to your computer or whatever, and you want to transfer photos or something like that. It'll bring up a similar screen. We're going to go ahead and go to the Files tab here, and you can see I've got all my apps here. Most of everything that I've been using my iPad for has pretty much been for music making. I'm going to click on the GarageBand one here, kind of open up that menu, and you can see I've got a bunch of songs here, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my screen for my iPad so you can see what's going on there. Okay, I'll share the sound for that as well, just in case I want to play a little tidbit of it. All right, so here's my my iPad. There we go. So what I'm doing here is I'm in the Files app. Okay, so let's go back here. There's my Files app. Okay, all of these files are on my iPad. They're not saved to the cloud or anything like that. Okay, so I've got a folder here that I've titled GarageBand for iOS. I'm going to click on that. I've got all my songs there. All right, so I'm going to focus on this one here. It's called Duppies 2. Really, the only reason why I'm focusing on it is because it is a small file size. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It's going to open up in GarageBand here in just a moment. My iPad is kind of old, so it might take a moment. All right, there we go. Okay, so I've discovered that the main culprit in not having these tracks transfer over as stems that you can use in GarageBand for Mac or Logic is anytime you use a third-party plugin and that third-party plugin is not available on macOS, you're going to run into some problems. Okay? So what you can do is you can either disable or remove third-party plugins from your song. Okay? So I'm going to show you both ways here. Okay? So I have not changed anything on Duppies 2, right? everything is opened up. You'll see everything's here. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of this. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of GarageBand. Let's see if I remember how to do this. There we go. It's saving. All right, Duppies 2. There we go. 10:14 p.m. All right, cool. Now I'm going to go back to my Files app. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually select Duppies 2. I'm going to make a copy of this. All right, so I'm going to duplicate it. All right, there. We've got a Duppies 3 now. All right. So just remember, Duppies 3 is over here, and it's an exact duplicate of Duppies 2. All right, just remember that. All right, cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to screen share my Mac again. All right, so here I am in my Finder window for my Mac Mini. All right, I'm going to go back to my iPad Mini here. There we go. Go to Files. All right, go to GarageBand. Okay. All right, so here we go. So there's Duppies 2, there's Duppies 3. All right, exact duplicates, right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag Duppies 2. For now, I'm just going to drag it to my desktop. Why not, right? So I'm going to drag it to my desktop, and it's going to make a copy of it on my desktop here. Okay? So it shouldn't take too long. It's a direct, USB file transfer. So with a file this size, I would say it'll be ready to go here in another minute or two. Nope, looks like it already loaded up. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and double click that, and it should open it up in GarageBand for macOS. Let's check it out. Yep, there we go. It's opening up. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop screen for you so that you can see what's going on here. So it is going to prompt me. There we go. It's going to prompt me to save it as a new file name. All right. We're not going to save it as Duppies 3 because we've got a Duppies 3 on the iPad. We're just going to save it as Duppies 2 test. All right, just to see if it's working, right? It's going to save it to the desktop on my Mac, so I'll go ahead and save that. All right, so there's Duppies 2 test. Now we're going to get this message right here. The plugin named AU Voice Rack isn't available on your system. Choose another plugin or quit GarageBand and install the plugin on your Mac Mini in order to use it in the project. All right, well, guess what? We don't have AU Voice Rack. It's not available for macOS. So we're just going to click OK, and you will see, all right, the good news is I've got all my tracks. Here they are. Okay, this is everything. All right, and I've even got my MIDI files here going, right? Okay, so I had some MIDI files going. I had some samples going on the other project. Everything else is an audio track that I recorded myself, playing guitar or singing or playing drums or whatever it was, okay? All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to find, I think it's these three down here. We're going to go ahead and find where those plugins are loading. No, it's not that one. This one here? Nope. 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 There it is. All right, so you're going to get the dreaded orange exclamation point. All right, that simply means that for one reason or another, that plugin is not supported or it's not available on macOS. All right, in this case, it's not available. All right. However, when you transfer your file, it is still transferring the audio. Okay, it's creating a new WAV file into your new project with that plugin applied from your previous session, which was on the iPad. All right, so I have no way of turning this on or off in this particular project because it's already been printed to this waveform right here. Okay, so I can't do anything about it. If it was enabled and it was working and it was on the iPad version of this song, it is now transferred over and it's on the Mac version. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we don't get this orange exclamation point. We want to make sure that it doesn't look for this plugin because it's not available. So we're going to fix that. We're going to exit out of this. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my iPad here. Oh, I forgot to turn my iPad back on. There we go. All right, so we want to forget about Duppies 2 now. We're going to go open up this Duppies 3 project. All right. And it's going to open up in GarageBand. There we go, loading Duppies 3. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go scroll down to where I had those plugins enabled. I want to say it was on this guy? Okay, no, it wasn't that guy. I think it was this guy. Yep, there we go. All right. AU voice rack. All right, so guess what we're going to do? We are going to remove it. Bye-bye. See ya. Adios. No more. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. It's gone. We're going to do the same thing here. It's gone. No, it's not gone. Now it's gone. All right. So I'm just going to double check that I don't have that plugin anywhere else on any of my tracks. It looks like we're good. Just making extra sure. Now you'll find that all of the stock plugins from iOS are not a problem transferring over to macOS. Only when you start using third-party plugins will you get a problem. All right, cool. So that's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, so those plugins are gone. Duppies 3 should now transfer over perfectly fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go back to our there we go. Is that it? Nope, that's the wrong window. All right, we are going to go ahead and go back to the desktop. There we go. All right, and here's my Finder window. Here's my Getty's iPad. And yes, that is a Rush reference. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of Rush, huge fan of Geddy Lee. So I named my iPad after him. It's Getty's iPad. All right, here we go. Duppies 3. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to drag this over to the desktop. Duppies 3. It's going to go ahead and copy that. Again, shouldn't take too long. We'll give it a second. And if you're ever curious, you can go ahead and go to Get Info just to see if the file has completely transferred or not. You can see here it's not completely done. 161, 199, 211. We've got to wait until it gets up to 520.6 before we're 100% sure that it's transferred all of the data. And it looks like we're almost there. 488, 495. There we go. We are good. All right. So, and for some reason it's transferred about 10 more megabytes for some reason. Not exactly sure why, but we're going to go ahead and open it up. we'll get the same kind of message. It's going to ask us to resave it as a new file in GarageBand. All right, we're not going to call it Duppies4. We're going to keep it Duppies3. We're going to call it Duppies3 test. All right, so we're going to save it. Now, before we got a message saying that there was a plugin incompatibility. But now, as you can see, we don't have that problem anymore. Okay, there is no incompatibility because we eliminated that plugin. So now we have all of our tracks from our iPad, all of them. Not one is missing. Every single one is there. And if we take a listen to it, go to my audio preferences here. Gotta make sure, yep, Zoom audio device. Okay. So we should be able to hear the song. It should sound as it did on the iPad, minus, of course, that one plugin that we eliminated. Let's check it out.
You smell her perfume in the breeze. Seductive dances round the palm trees.
All right, so that was a long time ago, and I know that there's a lot on this particular tune I would change. Now I can do that, right? Now I can retrack things if I want to. I can cut things if I want to. I can edit things if I want to. I can apply different plugins and different processing if I want to, because now I've opened up this file as it was on my iPad. I've opened it up on my Mac. So now I can work on this. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and exit out. I know that it's saved right here as Duppies3 test. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share that desktop screen again for you, and I'm gonna exit out of GarageBand, and I'm also gonna get rid of these other files that I don't need, because all that does is make a mess on your desktop. You don't want that. Okay. I actually think I just deleted the wrong file. Look at that. Duppies3 test. Yep, I deleted the wrong file. Put back. It could not be put back. That's weird. There we go. I just put it back by dragging it. All right, so yeah, don't delete the wrong file. That's not going to be good. All right, so anyway, here's my Duppies3 test file, the one that works in GarageBand. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to right-click on it now, and this is for you Logic Pro users. I'm just going to go ahead and go to Open with Logic Pro, and now it's going to again prompt me in Logic to probably save it as a new Logic project. And yep, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and save it to, what am I going to save it to? Album projects? Where did I save these before? B-sides. That's definitely a B-sides. All right, so I'm going to save it to Duppies3 test in B-sides, because it's a song that I am not thinking will make it onto an EP or an album, but who knows. All right, so now I'm in Logic, and as you can see, everything transferred perfectly fine. And now I have the ability to go in, dive a little deeper in with Logic Pro on this particular file. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, close out of Logic. And I hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. Again, I spent quite a long time trying to figure out how to do this, and there was really no easy way to do it. And I'm kind of blown away that all you had to do is just literally plug in your USB cord and drag and drop it to your desktop. You just got to know to disable those plugins. that are going to cause a problem for you. All right, so hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing, liking the video, turn on notifications for anything new that I put out there, and happy music making. And again, I hope that this was helpful to you. All right, we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.